So today I'm going to show you how to change a condenser fan on a 329 cat excavator. Customer complained about the AC not working on this machine and got out here yesterday, troubleshot it. Come to find out that it was blowing fuse for the condenser fan, which is behind there, behind that piece right there. Anyways, troubleshot it, found that the condenser fan was shorted out, blowing a fuse. Got a new one ordered. Now we're going to change it out. I've already started taking apart some of this stuff yesterday. Decided to film it today. But as you can see, we are going to pull the air cleaner out of the way, tops out of the way and whatnot, just to give extra room to access the backside of this condenser, because there's no way to access it from the backside. But as you can see, we got all that pulled off. We got the air cleaner. Yeah, I know it's full of dust, running in red dirt out here. So I will be cleaning that out before we put it all back together to make sure that no extra dust tries to get into the engine. And we'll proceed from here. When you're taking this off, be careful with your AC lines. You're going to be moving them around. There is potential that you will break them, especially if they're old lines, or if you just happen to not pay attention and they get bound up. There's a chance you'll break them, lose all your Freon. Then you get to enjoy the abilities of running new lines on one of these things and pulling a vacuum and all that fun stuff. We're going to do everything we can to make sure we don't break the lines today. Get this fan out, get a new one in, put it all back together where the customer can get back up and running as quick as possible. Alright, want to point out there is 3 little bolts right down there. There's also 3 up here on top. Here you can see them. Gotta take those off to get the back cover off and access the fan. You can turn around, slide the fan right on up and out. Wire harness out of the way, and just like that, you got your old fan out of there. New one is identical, did not change numbers. And make sure your wiring harness is in the same position as the old one. If it's on the bottom, make sure it's still on the bottom. And if it was on the top, put it on the top. rest of putting this together is pretty self-explanatory. Hope everybody learned something. If you didn't know how to do it, hope you learn how to. One of the other things I want to point out is even after you get done replacing the condenser fan, hook your gauges back up, make sure your pressures are good and reading like they're supposed to. Yesterday when I hooked up to this thing, as soon as I saw the high pressure, it got up to 400 psi within a minute, and that's what led me to the condenser fan. You want to make sure customer didn't come in and try to add additional freon or anything like that, or take some out. So you want to make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. Also, when you put your air filter back in, make sure you clean it out, because most of the time customers don't clean them out. Some of them do, usually not every day though. I run a set of Master Cool digital AC gauges. It's good for 134 and the Y1234 if you ever deal with it on the newer vehicles. Only reason I like them is if I got to pressurize the system with nitrogen to try to find a leak, I don't have to worry about blowing my low pressure gauge by over pressurizing it. Allows me to put 400 plus psi into the system if I need to, and it won't destroy the gauge. As you can see, my equalized pressure right around 85, 86 pounds. So, there you go, 85, 86 pounds, which is probably about right. But we're going to start it, run everything, make sure the pressures are actually reading what they're supposed to, at idle, at full throttle, and go from there. How much to charge this thing up to, but then you got to drain, you got to recover it all, pull a vacuum on it, then recharge it to get it to correct spec. If you're looking at pressures, kind of based off your temperature outside at the time and so on, the hotter the better. You can get your pressures adjusted about where they need to be optimal for the AC system to work correctly. I also want to state, if you've never messed with air conditioning before as far as the freon side of it, do not do it unless you've been trained to do it or you've taken classes and learned how to do it correctly, because if you do it the wrong way, you can blow this can up in your hand, along with a bunch of other things that can go wrong and cause serious damage, serious injury, or cost lots of money, or all three. Self-sealing cans. I used to be a hater of them. When I got to where I loved them, because you get some of them where you only have to use a half a can. If you ever tried to keep a pressure tap in one on the old style and pray that it held all the freon in there till the next time you had to use it, whether it was the next day or 3 weeks down the road or whatever, that can was always empty because your pressure tap let it slowly seep out. These, like this can, it was half empty. Been sitting in my truck for probably a good month. And I just didn't need a half a can. Figured I'd get it used right here. Right now the AC is still cycling pretty regular, so we're going to add a little more. Also, plus side, if you have repeat customers, they're always calling you back to work on any of their equipment at any given time. You get to learn the equipment. This specific machine has a very, very slow leak. And I mean very slow. Like we're talking once every 7 or 8 months, we've got to add a can of Freon, roughly, to it to get it to be working correctly again. And that's just, the customer doesn't want to spend the money and time to change a condenser right now. So, the customer will let it be. Do what the customer tells you. Give you suggestions, and you do what they tell you. Because they're the ones that send you a check at the end of the week after you get done fixing their equipment. Don't do what they tell you, they quit using you. Find somebody else. I'll give you a prime example. I've had customers that have told me, hey, we got a problem on our machine. We know this is the problem. We've got the parts ordered for it. Need you to come out and change the parts out. Get our machine up and running again. You tell them, okay. Get out there. Me, I always do a quick inspection on it, confirm the complaint that they initially stated was going on, and go from there. And if I determine there's a different problem with it, not the parts that they ordered, I will let them know. If they disagree, I put the parts on that they ordered, send them a bill, and inform them. The machine still needs these additional parts. It did not help, or maybe it did help a little bit. Whatever. Like I said, the customer signs a check. You got to do what the customer says. Otherwise, you lose business. And the customer spreads the word. Word of mouth, the biggest competitor out here. Word of mouth. Temperature is going to play a big part in it, and so on. So, as you can see on this one, that's about optimal right now for the temperature I'm at in the current machine. Running good, blowing cold, cycling, not too bad. And of course it is on the cooler side out here right now, so thermostat's going to make it cycle a little bit. It gets hotter, it quits cycling. Trying to keep the all glass cab. So on this 329, complaint was no AC. On the initial inspection and troubleshooting, one of the other things I noticed, meant to point out, is when you see a couple 20 amp fuses laying on the floor, that's a good sign that you got a short in a system. So add that to the notes, and always keep an eye out. Pay attention to your surroundings when you're inspecting a machine, because something as simple as fuses on the ground can give it a telltale sign and lead you in the right direction on troubleshooting.